Oh my word, 3 in the live, 4 likes. That's the score right now with that Saudi All-Star game and PSG. What a comical game. I will do a video about that later if I have the time. So I've got about an hour and a half right now. This is going to be unbelievable. I'm with Red Pill Monkey. I'm going to call him in a moment. A guy who's truly inspired me on my journey, and I've inspired him. We're going to reveal the dark side of Hollywood. I'm going to show you how I believe the majority of the world in entertainment is inverted, especially at the highest level, A-list level. All right, and we'll break down the human anatomy, the differences between the male and the female, okay, and why Satan has pushed this trans agenda on us. So this is going to be really special. It really is. It's very important. There'll be hardly any numbers, if any. If anybody asks me about PSG and this Saudi 11, just go on my Twitter or my website. I'm not going to be focusing on that in this live. There's more important things than a football game, but that is a demonic game. It's a very demonic game. Okay? Literally called Ronaldo to score a penalty, and right after he did. Okay, so I'm going to call Red Pill Monkey. And if you guys have never heard of this guy, he's amazing. He's on Twitter. He's got a decent following, but my word, he has the eyes to see. His level of discernment is off the charts. And like I said, I learned a lot from him in regards to the human anatomy. He taught me a lot. He helps me. He sends me images. So, hey, Brian. Hey, Ethel. Litmo. Much love to you all. All right. Hey, John. Nothing but love and respect for you as well. This should be a good one. All right. This should be a really good one. And it should clear a lot of things up. Right. Let's do this. Going to call him now. Greetings, Gary. And I'll try and incorporate you guys in the chat. I'll do my best every now and again. If you have any really thought-provoking questions during it, ask, guys. We'll do our best to answer them. But just know, Red Pill Monkey and I, we don't have the answers to the whole universe. But we're very open-minded and our discernment levels are off the charts. So we'll try and answer your questions as well, okay? All right, let's do this. 26 in the live, 6 likes. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope. Hey, Cheeto. I'm calling him. Hey, Red Pill Monkey. The monkey keeps playing around. There he is.
How are you, mate? You okay?
Yes. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I've just done an intro, 3 minutes 10 in, and that's Bin Laden's birthday, March the 10th. So basically, I've told people numerous times that you've inspired me a ton when it comes to, 1, the Bible, and 2, human anatomy. I think you're the very best when it comes to human anatomy. There's a guy called Simon Woods who's fantastic, has a YouTube channel. But you really broke it down in such a clear way for me. And I just want to ask you, how did you come to the conclusion that Hollywood was full of inverts? How did that come about?
Well, it was something I never really thought about.
Same.
I understand anatomy because obviously you know my background as a personal trainer, so I understand how muscle and bone work and how we're different. We're very different, male and female. But obviously, until you go down the rabbit hole, you don't really question things. You just accept, like the Truman Show, you accept the reality in which it's presented. So
bang on.
So yeah, somebody talked about it, the trans movement, or whatever you want to call it, the trans.
I call it the trans agenda.
Yeah, the trans agenda. And then I just did a bit of research. I studied real people alongside celebrities and compared the two, and yeah, it's blatantly obvious to me now.
Can you break that down? Because that's where you changed my life when it came to human anatomy. You told me to look into regular people, and there was multiple YouTube videos. They're taking them down now I've noticed. But there was multiple YouTube videos of, for example, a genetic male, okay? Blatant genetic male, openly a genetic male, open the fact that they want to have surgery to become a female, right? Open about it. And there was so many videos of them on their journey from male to female or from female to male. And when you see what they went through and how they changed in the space of a year, I couldn't believe it. And it's also not as expensive as you think. People think it's only for millionaires. I looked into the price of these surgeries and it's nowhere near what you think it is. So I couldn't believe what they were able to do in the span of a year to take literally someone like me or you, somebody like me or you, to look like a beautiful woman. I couldn't believe it. That really hit me.
Well, that's the thing. We've been conditioned to look at these celebrities, so these celebrity women, and vice versa, women looking at celebrity males, and that they've programmed us to think that that's the ideal woman or man. So that's what we do. We're watching television, and that's our reality the majority of the time.
It is, isn't it? Basically, it is.
Yeah, but when you compare it to the normal world, they all look similar. So they all look very similar in a certain way. You can't work out what it is, but yet they don't look like anybody we know.
That is so true. I was saying that yesterday, that there's so many celebrities that look alike throughout history. They all have the same bone structure, the same build, okay, the same clothes that they often wear. And then you don't see these people in real life. And something that really got to me is, what was the most popular doll growing up? And it probably still is for women. Barbie doll. So Barbie, she has no fat on her whatsoever, no hips. She's just straight, isn't she? Basically got a body like a man. So you grow up as a child with your Barbie dolls, which they heavily promote, just like they heavily promote action men for guys to promote you becoming a soldier. But you see these Barbies, and then you see in Hollywood so many of them. For example, your Paris Hilton's your best example of looking like a Barbie. That's a blatant bloke, size 12 feet, just straight back, no hips, blatant man. But you see that, and then there's these beautiful, curvaceous women who are growing up believing that they're extremely overweight or whatever it may be, or they're not beautiful, by reading these beauty magazines where they're literally comparing themselves with genetic males who are presenting themselves on the world stage as females. And that's something that angers me, because that's still going on at this point, that these women have these unrealistic expectations of what their body should look like. And men, we do. I remember growing up, I wanted my girl to not have any fat on her. I'll be honest, I was a bit of a jerk when it came to the human anatomy. I was looking for girls. They had to have this perfect body. They had to be beautiful. And that's because of the way I was basically programmed. You know what I mean? You're watching, like, I had a big crush on Jennifer Aniston, a real big crush. And she's got zero fat on her, still even now. Like, zero fat whatsoever. And Kylie Minogue. And I'm like, lusted after men, mate. Lusted after men. Better not say it too loud because of my neighbors, but that's the reality, and so did you. And isn't that one of the hardest things to accept for most people, that they did that?
Yeah, but it's like body dysmorphia. That's huge. You know, you look at the fitness industry. You've got people who appear to have the perfect body, but yet they want more. They want to be bigger, or they want to be more shredded, and vice versa with women.
That's true.
But yeah, so not only is it affecting their confidence, especially females, they see celebrities having a baby and then looking wonderful a week later.
Yes, I really want to focus on that, monkey.
Reality. It's just so many, and also the spiritual side of it, which is the most important. You know, which is the main reason why they do it.
It is.
You know, it all links back to Lucifer, Satanism. You know, the teachings of Aleister Crowley. It's all. And
Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, that basically tortured his daughter with demons through rituals. couldn't believe the video I watched on that. So Satanism's a real thing for sure.
But yeah, you have to go back. You have to go way back to ancient history and look into Ishtar, the goddess of sex and fertility, and the pagan gods. That's what it all goes. That's what it all boils down to. It all goes back right the way back to ancient history. You have to look at it through spiritual eyes, and that's the only way to understand it, really.
So, do you think, obviously, these celebrities are obsessed with the same symbolism, which goes back to your pagan gods when you study symbolism and pagan gods.
Yeah.
But do you think that you can only truly see? Oh my word, there's 43 in the live, 14 likes. I've just done loads of posts about 43 and 14. Or 43 is the 14th prime. I'm seeing it everywhere right now. Do you think that when it comes to things like the trans agenda and professional sports being coded and all of that, do you think you can only truly see it if you're spiritually awakened? You think it's impossible if not?
100%, because we couldn't see it when we weren't aligned with the spirit. You have to have the Holy Spirit within you to be able to see through Satan's lies.
We all have it. Do you believe we all have it? We all have it, but it's been hidden.
Absolutely, we're all equal. We're all equal, and we're all given the same opportunity. God is trying to open all our eyes, so we have to not close our minds to anything and try and understand it. Even if you try and the way I look at any subject is I've always tried to disprove it. So that's how I've actually come to the realization, is I try and disprove everything.
Yeah.
And then when I usually do that, I often find that almost everything we've been taught is a lie.
Yep, absolutely.
And you truly understand it, look into it. Otherwise, you just accept it as the norm.
Yeah, we accept lies as the truth, don't we? Yeah.
You have to question to find the answer. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to be asleep. And it's a tough subject because people can't comprehend how deep it goes.
Yeah, that's the issue, because it's so deep. It's like hard work. We live in a generation of instant gratification. People don't want to put in the work now. And you and I have put in endless hours studying these topics, which people say, but how's that benefiting you? How are you making money off studying the human anatomy? Are you going to write a book about it? It's like all driven by money. And it's like, no, I'm intrigued in who I am, what my purpose is, why we're being lied to, and why they're hiding Jesus from us. Like when I realized they were hiding Jesus and ridiculing Jesus is when I truly became a believer. And in regards to the Holy Spirit, I believe God is the Holy Spirit within us all, because God created us in his image. I think we all have the Holy Spirit. Even the most satanic, demonic entity walking this earth has the Holy Spirit somewhere within them.
Yeah, even these celebrities who have sold their soul, not literally sold their soul, but they've sold out.
Yep.
They can all turn to Jesus at any moment. They don't, there's nobody on earth that can't turn to Jesus.
That's a really important message. That's a really important message. People believe, well, if you've performed a heinous act, there's no way that Jesus will ever forgive you. If you truly believe in your heart and soul and you give yourself to Jesus and repent, he wants you, literally wants you in heaven, doesn't he? He wants you there. All right. He's not, when it comes to judgment, he's judging us more on like our positive behavior. He's looking to see if there are anyone walking the earth who are somewhat perfect. He's not looking like to call people out. You know what I mean? Like the majority of people on the internet who are going out of the way to find faults with people. I don't think that's how it works. But people don't want to believe in God, I don't think. They don't want to believe in Judgment Day because they've committed sins. But every single person has committed a sin, because we live in a world full of sin. But God doesn't hate sinners. He hates sin. And he knows we're going to sin here. He knows that.
Well, we're going to continue to sin. It's impossible not to.
Exactly.
The Bible tells us there's only one unforgivable sin, and that's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So that's hardening of the truth and to lack of repentance, basically. So anyone is capable of repenting and turning from their ways. And once you receive the Holy Spirit, once you felt it, there's no doubt. You don't doubt it again.
Can I ask you that? Because Yeah, I had a feeling when I felt the Holy Spirit enter me where I couldn't breathe when I was talking. I was basically doing a video and I was reading out scripture from the book of Revelation and I went like that. And my whole body got chills from top to bottom like I've never had in my life before. Something happened that night. And it was the day after when my Patreon got taken down, the day after for no reason. Do you have a moment where you felt like something went within you, or there was some sort of connection where you went, "What was that? This is powerful," or did you not have that moment?
No, I've had it. Yeah, that was the moment that changed me.
Can you explain it?
It wasn't even too long ago. It was probably I went down the rabbit hole, deep down the rabbit hole, probably about maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've been looking into many different subjects. But I only turned to Jesus probably maybe 3 years ago, maybe a bit longer, 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I was baptized, as you know, on the
10/8
8th of October.
10/8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happened through prayer. I prayed in the house. And I couldn't stop crying. I didn't know why I was crying. I didn't feel sad, but I just kept crying. And I just felt this feeling I've never felt before. I can't really describe it. It was just...
I'm getting goosebumps. Because people like you...
And
go on.
That was the moment. He was showing me signs before that. He was showing me different numbers and stuff, as you know. Starting with 333 and 33. Obviously, 33 is Freemasonry, etc., etc. But it's a powerful number. It's a good number.
But Jesus died 33 AD as well. It's a master number, 33.
It's definitely a powerful number. But God will talk to us in different ways, each in different ways.
Well, I had my awakening at 33, didn't I? And you were born 3 years, 3 months, and 30 days before me.
Yeah.
So we know that that's organic. There's no Jesuits, there's no Satanists that have put that together for that to happen, for us to meet the way we did, for the Custbar Challenge to be 10/8, for the amazing syncs that we experienced whilst I was in England and you came and stayed with my mum. It was absolutely beautiful. So there's no doubt that God does communicate with you, and I think he can do it through numbers, like you said with your 333, because you asked God for a sign, didn't you? You said, "Give me a sign," and explain that.
I asked him for a sign. He woke me up at 333, and then the next day it was pretty much the number was repeated all day long. And I met a friend of a friend that day for the coffee, and just to cut the story short, and basically we were going to meet at a coffee shop, and it turned out that he wanted me to go to his house. So I said, "I'll text me your address," and he lived at number 33. So that was like the start of that number for me, and how I kept seeing it repeatedly. And then from then on, I kind of just grew in the spirit. So I started to pray more, read the Bible, and it led me to like a ministry, local ministry.
Yeah.
I don't go to church because I don't trust church.
It's been infiltrated. It says in the book that the church will be infiltrated.
Controlled, and I've tried to go a few times, and my soul just has rejected it. Basically.
Same.
So
I tried it. Same.
I know. I've got, like I say, a local ministry, a group of people. We just go to a house, we do Bible study, and just grew from there. Got baptized, and the rest is history.
Mate, I would love to do Bible study with you. I'd love to do Bible study, and basically be in that group and provide them the information I have. With the numbers, we know there's a connection with the Bible with letters and numbers. If they'd allow me to do that, that would be amazing. Just to give a different insight into it all. So
our awakening seemed to be, very, very similar. In even going back to our, football and.
I want to say that I want to cover that because obviously growing up when we were younger, I played a super high level, and so did you. So I was at Bradford City for many, many years. Where were you playing?
Cheltenham Town.
So you're at Cheltenham Town. So obviously you've got to be a decent player to be playing for these academies. You have to be one of the best in your city by far. And so you grow up, don't you? And you think you're going to be a footballer, like everyone playing academy. You think you're going to be a footballer. Otherwise, what's the point? You think I'm going to be a pro, and your whole life is connected to being a footballer. That was my life, the footballer. That's it. That's all I thought about. And for somebody like you and I was a huge Man United fan. You were a huge Liverpool fan. For somebody like you and I, who our life basically connected to football for the majority of our life and athletics and sports, to then just give up, to then stop watching it, and for me, stop betting on it. I know you've never really bet. Like, that has to be something divine. Otherwise, it makes no sense. Why would you give up something you absolutely love if it wasn't divine and it wasn't God guiding you away from it? Why would I give up something that I truly love, that was a huge part of who I was? Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, exactly. And I think that, you know, we all go through a similar sort of feeling when we go down the rabbit hole. It's not something that we kind of choose. It's something that kind of just happens. And we, you know, the majority of the time we go deeper and deeper into many different subjects. And then eventually, after a few years, you kind of like, it changes your world. It's like you can't just go back to how you were. You can't go back to
your old reality, your old way of thinking.
Your old ways. You kind of, and that's what growing in the spirit is your soul leads you. You don't, you know, you don't walk in the flesh. You walk in the spirit.
You don't walk in the flesh. You walk in the spirit, and that's why I don't have concerns, brother. I don't have concerns. I don't think 5 years ahead. I don't look at my bank balance anymore. I go day by day and let my spirit guide me. Even with my coding, I don't go to bed the night before thinking, right, tomorrow I need to code this game and I need to look into this and I need to research that. It just happens. It's organic. Like the Holy Spirit guides me. And that's the most powerful thing that we possess. And this is a spiritual war now, which the majority of the world are oblivious of, but soon they will become aware of it, in my opinion. Likely this year. They're going to become aware. No doubt.
Yeah, and because we've been programmed since the day we were born, our natural reaction is to reject anything that goes against our programming. So anything that we've been taught, we kind of just believe blindly until we actually question it and research it. There's no way out.
You've got to want to, though, as well, haven't you? You have to want to. You can't force this knowledge on anyone. I've learned. Is that a big thing you've learned? Have you tried to wake up your friends and family and realize you just can't do it?
Yeah, at the start definitely, but you learn how to deal with it then, and you learn to just let it be, kind of thing. You can plant seeds and you can, you know, make the odd comment here and there, but they have to want it themselves.
You always taught me, plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds. They have to water it, plant seeds. Yeah. And when they're ready, they'll come to you. And that's where I am at. The amount of family members and friends who have now sent me posts or said, can you look into this? Or said, ads, fair enough. I'm starting to see what you see. Because I stopped forcing it. I stopped sending them my sports codes. I stopped trying to convince them to see the world the way I saw it. And I became aware that for 33 years, if anyone was sending me those codes and messages and images to me when I was 32, I would block them. I would block that person and say, who are you? You're doing my head in now. Leave me in peace. I would do that. And it's like when anyone tried to guide me to God, I told them, I got angry, mate. I said, can you piss off? I'm not interested. I got really angry about it. So we have to be aware that we don't force this on people who are not ready for it. It's like telling somebody to do a triple backflip when they can't even do a cartwheel.
Yeah,
basically.
The thing is, we've been both sides. We've seen both sides of the coin, so we can understand. Sorry, they don't understand the way our mind works and how we think. They think we're crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
But we can understand why they think we're crazy because we've been where they've been. So we should have more understanding and more compassion towards them.
Empathy for it, yeah, because we were there, and
we know what it's like to see. Looking at the stuff that we talk about, it's crazy. It is crazy. I admit that. On the surface, it is crazy, but I truly believe this is the reality, and that it's just been hidden from us, like everything else. It's just been hidden. But they've given us so many clues from the day we were born. Now we can see it for what it is because we've got the eyes to see. So it's a bit like they live. We've got the glasses now. We are
wearing the glasses. That's the best analogy of it. We're wearing the glasses, And remember when Rowdy Piper tried so hard to get his friend to wear the glasses and they had a fight? In the car park, they started scrapping and he eventually put the glasses on and he believed him. So it's pretty much is like that. And like you said, the deeper you go down the rabbit hole and you start connecting everything and seeing how it's all connected. That's what led me to the code, thankfully. But it's all connected. It's not separate. It all connects. And
everything connects.
Everything connects. There's numerical patterns with everything within the world. And you start to realize, like you said, that they're hiding Jesus from people. Why?
Yeah, not just... We got to ask ourselves. There's obviously known shills. So we got the obvious ones like Alex Jones. We got
Russell Brand,
Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, David Icke.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson.
Complete and utter proven, blatant shills. But yeah, they don't talk about the trans stuff. They don't talk about Jesus. They don't talk about the world being a plane, not a globe. So all the important things, all the things that are actually spiritually related and lead you to God, because it gives you faith.
Yeah.
They don't talk about those things. They talk about all the other things.
They'll talk about 9/11, which they know nobody's ever going to have the true answer to it deep down. So they'll push and say 9/11 was an inside job and it was due to this. But again, they know that they can talk about those stuff because it just keeps you on just going over and over and over.
Yeah, it's like a dog chasing his tail. It doesn't make any sense. It needs to be an end goal, and the end goal is that you find meaning in your life because you find God, and that's the truth of it.
The true meaning, I put in my book, the true meaning of life is to find meaning.
Yeah,
and a lot of people in life don't have meaning. They're just, like you said, they go to work, they're on autopilot, they go to work, and most people work a job they don't want to do. They do 8 hours a day, 5 days a week most of the time. A lot of people doing overtime now because they can't afford to pay the bills and electricity and all of that. And then they come home, they watch TV where they're getting programmed, and maybe once a week they go out and drink, put poison in the body, and just on repeat. So how's that going to allow you to grow spiritually? Like I read the Bible, the book of Revelation daily. I'm coding daily. I'm communicating with unbelievably open-minded people from all around the world daily. I'm not consumed by money. Although, again, we need it, don't we? You don't do your personal trainer classes for free because you're a good guy. You need to pay your bills in this system.
Yeah.
That's the reality. And people think people like you and I, because we call out Satanism and we speak our truth, that we should be doing all of that for free if we're truly believers of Christ. It's that type of mindset, that black and white mindset, which I think holds a lot of people back, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's me. You've written a book and you're charging for your book. Well, why shouldn't you charge for your book? Anyone else can write a book about anything and charge. They can write books about aliens. So why can't you write a book about Gematria or whatever you want to write?
No, exactly. It doesn't make much sense. It doesn't make much sense at all. So Philip saying is the 22nd like, beautiful, master builder number. So anyway, the big thing I want to talk about is in Hollywood. So you said it earlier, and I mentioned it in my Spice Boys video, and those videos are inspired by people like you. So thank you. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. So when it comes to, you said it, these Hollywood A-listers, B-listers, they get that moon bump, which you can literally buy online, and they use in movies and TV shows all the time, the moon bump, where it looks like you're pregnant. So they give birth, don't they? Even though they don't have childbearing hips, any of them. They give birth, and you said within days, sometimes 24 hours after, they have the child in their arms, which is not theirs, not their biological one anyway, and their body's actually better than it was before they were so-called pregnant. Like they have abs. Like they'll give birth and they've got abs and they're glowing, and it's like no stretch marks, nothing like that. And it's so you can say this, right? You can say, all right, in Hollywood, they're multimillionaires, they can have plastic surgery. Okay, fine. Yes, you can have plastic surgery. All right, and all of that. But when it comes to giving birth and stretch marks and your hips and all of that, it don't matter how much money you have. It don't make any sense. So we discussed numerous possibilities for this. Can you cover them? Because you know a little bit. We discussed surrogates. We discussed various other topics. Possibly, again, there's all the child trafficking where they can get hold of kids and then just dress them as the parents look, give them certain haircuts and all that. But how do you think they're doing this? Because these men who are portraying themselves as women, they're not giving birth. Serena Williams didn't give birth. Pink didn't give birth. Christina Aguilera didn't give birth. The Spice Girls didn't give. They didn't with that physique. They can. So how are they doing it, mate?
Like I said to you, I said, and anybody listening, how many times do you know of people, healthy people, young people using surrogates? I know none.
I don't know one.
I don't know anyone. Don't know anyone else that knows any. It's like, but yet in Hollywood, they all tell us. The Kardashians, they all say we use surrogates.
Michael Jackson, Ronaldo.
Exactly, because it's just the revelation of truth method. They're just telling us the truth. They have to. That's part of their secret society. They have to reveal the truth to us as well as the lies, because there's free will at play. So that's what they do.
Yeah.
Why all these little times that you see something swinging around in their dress, they're not doing that by accident. They're doing it on purpose because they're showing you. They have to show us.
Like Lady Gaga showed us, Michelle Obama's literally showed us. Yeah, they've told us. Many of them have actually come out and said. Megan Fox said she was a man.
Yeah, they say I'm a man, I'm a tranny, I'm this, I'm that, and it's like it's not done. It's not. We're not catching them out. We're not catching them out on anything. They're just revealing the truth to us.
And it has to be revealed, doesn't it? It seems.
Yeah, it has to because it's free will.
Do you think though, bro, when they're coming out and saying these things and being flat out honest, because they do blur lines, but Megan Fox saying, yes, I'm a man and I hate myself, and of course she's starting Transformers. Yeah. So when she's doing that, well, because it's a man, all right? Fox, by the way, we know the cunning fox in Pinocchio, Fox in Pythagorean numerology 666. That's why you have Fox, the news network that is obsessed with Donald Trump and all of that. Leicester City, the Foxes, won the Premier League in 2016. So when Megan Fox is coming out and revealing a huge truth there, which should make the whole world go, what? Instead of just like, she's just joking. Do you think that is somewhat God? Or is it Satan mocking us? It's always the mockery of Satan. Or is that God saying, hey, guys? I always feel like God's like saying, come on, guys. Come on. I'm giving you like so much here. I feel like when I do my calls, I'm giving you so much to work with here. Do you think Megan Fox knew prior to that interview that she was going to say what she said? It's weird saying this because it's like she, but it's a he. It's confusing.
But look at COVID, for example. How many times did they tell us, vaccines cause an injury? But they know that the world's under a spell. So it's all, everything they do is a spell. So they know, obviously the English language is spelling. So they know that they can reveal all this stuff and people still won't pay attention to it. Look how many people refuse the jab.
Yeah.
The minority, huge minority, despite them telling you that it could cause you heart failure.
They always warn you. They do always warn you. They always warn you. And they often tell you where the world's going. And when you have the level of discernment we have, they tell you where it's going.
Exactly, yeah.
And when I say they, I don't think it's man, but the universe, God, Satan, whoever it is, a combination, they give you so many signs, which most people just choose to ignore, often because those signs don't truly benefit them.
Yeah.
To be honest, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Most people got the you-know-what, which I can't talk about. Literally, to be able to go on vacation, to not lose their job, because they saw celebrities doing it. And finally, now more people are seeing through the whole thing. But I was in the mall yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was in the mall with Kenya. And you didn't need to wear a mask to get in the mall. But 50% of the stores, you needed to wear one. And the other 50% you didn't. And that should be enough for the whole, every member of that mall should be going, what? Wait, it should be all or nothing, shouldn't it? But people they get on with it.
But like I said to you, again, they rely on consent because as I told you, I've never worn a mask.
Never. You've never done it, yeah.
Never considered it. So I was the only person in work that didn't have it. On public transport, I was the only person that didn't wear one. Because I knew that I didn't have to. They're relying on your consent. But everyone else thought they have to because they condition you to think that you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You've always got a choice. No matter what, you always have a choice.
Yeah, that's bang on.
It's everything they do is magic. It's the way that they've, convinced the world that their reality is,
Satan's infiltrated everything that's pure within the world through black magic, it seems, through casting spells on people.
Exactly.
Like, it's undeniable at this point. And why do you think now, why do you think people like you and I are waking up at this point? Do you think it's because the second coming of Christ is on its way? Like, how did we break the spell? Just through the ability to go down the rabbit hole and make genuine sacrifices, like giving up the things that we loved in many ways. Like, why are people like you and I and other people in the chat at this juncture now being led to Christ and seeing through Satan?
I personally think we're just lucky in the sense that we're born at the time of the age of information, when the internet's given us alternative news. Myself personally, I've always been inquisitive. I've always had an inquisitive mind. So from school, I've always questioned things like evolution. I've always believed in a higher power. And it's just kind of grew from there. I started off, I was quite obsessed with space and aliens. And then obviously later on, I realized that was all.
I'll tell you something with that, bro. I never, ever got into aliens or space. I thought it was comical since I was a child. And the one class I got kicked out of, even though I was like super good student, the class I often got kicked out of was history, because I called out history to Miss Roberts. She'd often say, I asked too many questions, get out, work outside. She'd make me work outside because she couldn't answer my questions. That's middle school. That was the only class I would get thrown out of because she didn't like me asking questions. When it came to space and NASA, never fallen for that nonsense, ever.
No. Well, I just never questioned it. I never really thought to question it. I didn't see a reason why I should, but looking back now, I feel they're stupid, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't fascinated by sci-fi. I wasn't into Star Trek and Star Wars or anything like that. The closest thing I enjoyed was E.T. That was like about as far as I went to enjoying the whole spectacle of aliens was the movie E.T. But so let's go back to the trans agenda, which is crucial because you and I both agree it's one of Satan's biggest deceptions, and people choose to ignore it. It's arguably, could I say it's his biggest? I would say hiding Jesus Christ is number one, but the trans agenda is up there, top three.
It's definitely up there with one of the most important truths, in my opinion, because it just shows, more importantly, that we're in a spiritual war. That's the most important, message from it, is that it's spiritual warfare. It's the only way you can explain it and rationalize it.
Yeah, all you have to go to is Epiphanians 6:12, innit? For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. That sums everything up. That's why Christian Eriksen had a cardiac arrest, mate, on 6:12.
Yeah.
All right, that was that. We wasn't dealing with Eriksen there, mate, or Denmark or Finland or FIFA. We were dealing with cosmic powers. We were dealing with literally spiritual forces of evil. That's what we're dealing with. And until you comprehend that is what we're dealing with, you can't go to the next level, is it? If you think it's all man, like I said yesterday, I did a really good live. Not many people watched it, but you had number 7 for Palace score 7707 days after he was born. He scored in the 91st minute, in off the crossbar, unbelievable free kick. And there's still people on my website telling me that it was rehearsed for him to do that. They worked on it in training, that he was scoring off the bar after 91 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
How can you still think that without being under a spell? And I don't use the word stupid anymore, idiot. Without being under a spell, or that bicycle kick from Bale. Somebody told me they rehearsed it in training against Liverpool. I'm like, are you serious? Is this serious?
Yeah, I've got a friend who's very clued up on a lot of the stuff that's going on, and he's the same. He thinks that it's all rehearsed through Freemasonry, and it's just like, it's impossible. How much time do you think they have to code every sport and let it go to plan almost every?
Yeah, the NBA team's playing 4 times a week. Like, they're rehearsing these games. Like, really? Back to back, more often than not in the NBA, they play.
Yeah, you have to look at everything through spiritual eyes. You can't, otherwise it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
That's very true. So again, with the trans agenda, with your pinks, all these top stars who they really have to promote that they're amazing mothers. Have you noticed? They'll tell you how amazing they are. They're the best mothers in the world, these people. Just rubbing it in. So we've discussed surrogates where they're basically paying people to give birth to the child. I asked you, because I met the Beckham family. I met all of them when I was in LA. Yeah. My club coached against Romeo, and that finished 2-2. All right, so I met Bex. I met all of them. Met Posh, oh my goodness. So I saw Posh Spice, and I was looking around at the women, like the parents of my club and their club. I think he played for Laguna. And she had no weight on her whatsoever, 0. And she's given birth to what? She had 4 children, is it? Probably in her 40s now. Has to be in her 40s now. So I saw them all, and I was like, wow, they literally all look almost identical. Like, they all look like Beckham. And that's when people go, how on earth, if Beckham's a female and Posh is a man, how they're having kids? How does Brooklyn and Romeo look so much like David and all of that? Can you explain? Because you explained it to me, and I thought, wow. Explain to me how they're doing that through DNA, because it made so much sense to me.
They say, genetic manipulation. They can mix DNA, not cloning, but they can use DNA to use with surrogates, and they can even use lookalikes. They can use family members. They adopt a lot of them. There's so many different ways that they could do this. But just through anatomy alone, we can clearly tell through the evidence that they're not giving birth. So there's no way that Posh Spice is giving birth to that child. But yet we can see the similarities in the genes. But like I said, with surrogates, how many people do you know? The healthy people that use.
I've never met a person, and I'm sure there's definitely people in the chat who have, but I've never personally met a person.
There's so many in Hollywood that admit to using them, and it makes no sense because they're just telling you that it's just a truth reveal.
It is so many of them, and they all date each other, don't they?
Yeah.
It seems like there's an agenda with Taylor Swift. Every upcoming star, like, for example, your Harry Styles when he was coming through, Calvin Harris when he was coming through, they all had to date Taylor Swift, whose anatomy is one of the most blatant when it comes to being a man, with the hands, the hips, just the way he walks. Taylor Swift, Taylor again, they often do these male-female names like Taylor, don't they? So often.
Yeah.
But then people go, well, I've got a friend called Taylor, and she's, yeah, you have. Because that 6-year-old friend you have named Taylor is named after Taylor Swift. Probably.
Exactly. And there's lots of celebrities that you can link to look like each other because it's all bloodlines and genetics. So they have the serpent seed.
Yes.
As you know, the 33% of the angels came down, didn't they?
They have that serpent seed, and they put them in different areas of entertainment as well. But they won't tell you. They won't tell you. Sometimes they will say that they're related. Like there's many brothers and fathers and sons and mothers and daughters that make it in a certain industry. But so often, I believe that they lie about their nationality of a lot of them. They lie about, like Trump's a German. US president, his family's Trump. They're Germans. The royal family are all Germans when you go back and look through history. They're German. So they lie about their nationality. They lie about so many things, like their families. Again, you gave me a brilliant example. It's so clear. The world we're living in is basically a show, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you're watching your favorite TV show, how many times have you got one specific actor who's been a member of multiple families in different shows?
Exactly.
So they're doing it there. They can do it in real life. And there's a lot of them, which is wild, who are literally presenting themselves as one character as female and then another character as male. And I've done a video on multiple stars doing that, like Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they show you pregnant ladies in television, don't they? If you look at, say, Breaking Bad, for example, one of the most popular shows of the last
I loved it. It was probably the last show I loved.
Yeah. Skylar was pregnant through most of the first and maybe into the second season, just wearing a moon bump. You see it. It looks real. They're having scans.
Well, did you see that? I forgot the name of it because it wasn't popular. It wasn't a popular series, but I do remember watching it with Betsy at the time when we were together and we used to watch Netflix together. There was a show. Yeah. There was a show where there was a couple and they were going through a really difficult time. They had 2 kids. They were going through that midlife crisis, you know what I mean? And the guy wanted something else and the wife was jealous. So what she did to keep their relationship alive was fake a pregnancy, and she bought a moon bump online.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then he found out that it was all a lie. And then I think he killed her. Yeah. Something like that. Something outrageous like that. And it showed you in that show that you can get a moon bump. You can be in a relationship, I'm sure it was a loving relationship, but they just grew apart. But that you can literally go to bed with this person and convince them that you're pregnant due to the moon bump. It was soft disclosure. Yeah. It happens. There'll be normal women. That will be happening in the world. People who are losing their mind, think they're going to lose their husband, they'll get hold of that moon bump. Maybe they've watched a show that's inspired that. But guys, if you're watching, you can go online and type in moon bumps. There's a website where you can buy it. And you see, do you remember when I told you about Serena Williams, mate? Do you remember the story I told you with that?
Yeah.
6 months pregnant, front page of a magazine, and then there's a video of her doing a aggressive backhand 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just mockery.
That is. And people are like, well, it's Serena. She's an icon. She's an athlete. Number one, it's not a she. And number two, that is so dangerous where you basically doing an aggressive backhand. Have you seen that motion, mate? Like the motion of that, you shouldn't be doing that 6 months pregnant, let alone pregnant. And people just see these celebrities as superheroes when all they are is super deceivers, possessed by demons, and they're owned.
Exactly. And if you look at the feminization surgery, this surgery to make you masculine or feminine, and it's very easily done. But an easier way to alter is through testosterone or estrogen. So they're so powerful. But if you're, multiplying your testosterone, you can change your body enormously. It's like HGH, human growth hormone. It's like it can completely alter the human body, but they can't alter the skeletal system. That's always going to be there.
Say that again. That's bang on. Say that again.
So you can change the appearance, so you can change the aesthetic of somebody, but the skeleton is still going to be different because we're made different. If you stripped everything from from a male and a female, and you're just down to the skeleton, there's huge differences in both. And that's the thing that people don't understand.
Can you explain that? You've taught me and I know them, but can you explain the biggest differences between the male and female skeleton?
I'll just go through a few of the things. So obviously the skull size is different. You've got the brow ridge, the male brow ridge, deeper eye sockets, the jawline is more square.
The pelvis.
The clavicle is straighter and longer and thicker on a man.
The femur.
The arms are longer. The digit ratio of the hands are bigger. The pelvic area is wider. The Q angle. There's so many different. The
straight back, and the curve.
Yeah, exactly. Straight back. There's endless differences. We're made different. But the Q angle, in terms of the way we walk and we move, a lot of people cover that on Twitter, and they do a great job. So yeah, there's so many ways to differentiate from the two.
But we again with the naked eye, you're looking for breasts, you're looking for like long hair, you're looking for like a big booty, you're looking for them in like a dress, you're looking for them in makeup, and all of that. And if you're looking just at that, you are not looking deep enough. It's like practically everything that you and I cover. People, they dip their feet in when you have to dive into the bottom of the ocean, basically. That people dip their feet in. So they will see these celebrities who on paper at first glance, if you saw them in a nightclub, you would go, wow. Maybe you and I not now, but before. You go, wow, look at them. There's something special about her. Wow, she's like, wow. And you used to do that with these celebrities. You always felt like, wow, they were special, didn't you? You're like, why is there no women in my school that look like that? Why have I never seen anyone like her on a night out? And you've seen a few that look similar, who are just organically beautiful. But in general, you don't see them. And the reason you don't see them is because the majority of the world are not deceiving the world through their gender. It's a small amount. If there's 8 billion, like they've told us, which again will no doubt be a lie, because everything they tell us is a lie, pretty much. Not everything. We said they'll plant a bit of truth here and there, but they'll still do it in a way where they're somewhat joking, or at least present it like they're joking, like Megan Fox. So by doing all of that is, again, our reality is dictated by what we see on TV in general, yeah? We wouldn't know about coronavirus if it wasn't for the TV. We wouldn't know half of the stuff that we know. We wouldn't know that there were anything going on now, supposedly, in Russia and the Ukraine. I have friends, I've told you, who live in Russia and the Ukraine. Well, I've told you they're out walking the dog, going out for dinner, the kids are at school. It can't be that much of a war. But again, you see it on TV, you're like, geez. So you wouldn't even know about it, would you? Your frequencies wouldn't be getting lowered without the media. So they know, or Satan knows, because he's behind the mainstream media, in my opinion. There's 6 major companies. He knows that he can infiltrate the mind of the masses through the media, doesn't he? He's aware of that. So these celebrities, it doesn't need many of them. So on average, throughout the year, how many like iconic celebrities are there? I'm talking iconic. 10? 20? Like real iconic. Your Messis, your Ronaldos, your like people that are just known all over the world. The Rock. Those people have so much say. So however they present themselves is basically how the world wants to be. And if they're rewarded, all right, through the media, and he's got this contract and he's got this beautiful girlfriend, he's got this huge house, you want to be that person, so you'll behave the way they behave. If you're obsessed with the world, when you're not in love with the world anymore, like you and I, but we're of the world, we don't hate the world, you see through all of that. You see it as clear as day. You see a demon dating another demon who are both inverted, who are slaves to Satan, rather than, wow, I want to be Ronaldo. I want to go to Saudi Arabia and make $1 million a week. That's not what he's getting. Ronaldo had no say in going there. He had to go in a beast riddle. He had no choice. Paris Saint-Germain had to be there today. They had no choice. They had no choice.
Yeah.
So all these, what about this? Yeah, people like Michael Jackson, Tupac, Mariah Carey, Madonna, these are people considered iconic, but they're con artists. So Tupac was a backup dancer and a ballet dancer before becoming a gangster. Like, if you are into rap music and you obsess over Tupac, why are you ignoring that he was a backup dancer and a ballet dancer? Why are you ignoring that he got shot 4 times in Vegas where there's surveillance everywhere and nobody caught it? So Satan will literally say, I'm going to turn a ballet dancer into the biggest gangster on the world stage in rap. That's what I'm going to do. He does that, doesn't he? So he'll make the world's sexiest woman. He'll go, right, I'll make sure that's a man. I'll make sure the most sexiest man is a genetic female. That is the level that he operates at, isn't it? Through spiritual wickedness.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it is, yeah.
Do you think that when more people see it, that Satan somewhat loses his power? Just like I always say, if you go watch a magician and you know what he's doing and how he's doing the trick, basically you see through the whole show and he can't really deceive you, or he can't make you go, wow. You go, I know how you did that, mate. I can blatantly see how you've done that. And then it almost becomes, imagine again watching a magician and you know what he's going to do. It's almost funny at the same time as it being like infuriating. It's almost more comical. So I've got to the point now where I almost laugh at what they present, especially understanding the numbers. I almost laugh. Like, I've been talking about 31 everywhere, and yesterday Usain Bolt had $12.7 million taken out of his account, which is the 31st prime number. And I just giggled. I was like, 12.7 million wasn't taken out of his account at all. It's just a code through Satan using his minions. Exactly. Usain Bolt, like a lightning bolt, and he was the fastest man in the world. And people believe his actual name's Usain Bolt.
Exactly.
And he always does the demonic symbolism all the time, doesn't he? Devil horns and one-eyed symbolism. They all do the same symbolism. Why? Why?
Exactly.
You discuss symbolism a little bit more. I know you've discussed it with the pagan gods, but do you think these elites, as we call them, I don't like that term because they're not above us, but do you think that they actually do communicate through symbols rather than the language? Do you think they avoid the English language because they know it casts spells? Like when they're interacting with each other in the little basements, doing the satanic ritual, I bet they're not speaking in English.
Possibly. But yeah, they use signs and symbols of their language. They've admitted that anyway. So that's definitely how they communicate.
Do you think they're speaking Latin? You see all these like rituals and exorcisms, they're speaking Latin, don't they? Do you think they're using Latin when they communicate with each other?
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
You see it in all these horror movies, they start speaking Latin.
Yeah, when it comes to the secret societies, we can only go by, the evidence that we're presented with and what they're showing us. We know that it's a lot darker than what they actually present to us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Human sacrifice and things like that. And to be honest, I don't think any of us want to see or...
No. I think that however powerful you are spiritually, if you were to witness these heinous acts of ritual sacrifice and what they do, I've been reading about Anton LaVey, and I've told you I'll do a video what he did to his daughter. Tried to just basically break her, to completely break her, but she actually got saved. She actually got saved.
It's a great. I've seen a Christian family.
I nearly cried, mate. I nearly cried watching it because if I watched that again 3 years ago, I would have said it was made up. This is nonsense. Like tables getting flipped by demons. Like you gave her your favorite ring, and but the way she said, you go.
When you're talking about all the trans stuff, you have to go back to Aleister Crowley. You have to go back to Anton LaVey. Satanism, androgyny, part of that.
Think about ancient Rome. You had men wearing robes, aka dresses.
Exactly.
And ancient Greece.
If you've done it, I've covered it, and many others have covered it. You know, if you go to back to the royal bloodline, it's throughout. You can see right from the very beginning till now. And they've shown us. They've shown where Meghan Markle's moon bumps fallen and things. It's not done by accident. It's done on purpose. They're showing us.
And they've told us things like Elizabeth married Philip, second cousin. That Einstein married his first cousin, Elsa. And people are all right with it. It's like, wait, you're idolizing people who are inbred and openly inbred. If your next door neighbor was married to their cousin, you wouldn't speak to them, would you?
No.
But when you know that it's going on with celebrities, you still worship them. That, again, it has to be black magic because they tell you. Like, how many people in the world even knew Einstein was married to his first cousin? They don't. But it's out there. If you look, it's there.
But I think for you to truly understand it and to understand how testosterone works, how estrogen works, how surgery works, just from a human level, you have to go back and look at FTMs and MTFs. You know, you have to go back to basics, back to normal people, what they've actually shown you, the open ones, the open trans that have shown you what they've achieved. Because unless you see that, what they can actually do to the normal, regular people, then you can kind of comprehend then and understand that these celebrities have far more, you know, at their disposal. They can do far more because they've got the money, they've got the time, and they've got the magic.
I'll give you an example. There was a woman online who was about 100 pounds, female, who wanted to become a male. All right, and then they started taking all the testosterone and growth hormones and everything else that we've probably never heard of. Can't remember what she was saying, some type of injections you were getting that I've never heard of. And so she was just like this little tiny girl. And then a year later or 2 years later, she'd been working out and taking steroids and testosterone, make the body look like, do you know who Seth Rollins is?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Yeah, so who's married to the man, Becky Lynch, literally the man. So he's got this crazy body, and he like crazy abs, like he tenses his back. He's just ripped, no ounce of fat on him. And this little 100-pound, 120-pound woman, within a couple of years or less, had a body looking like Seth freaking Rollins. I was like, what? And had a beard and looked like if I saw that person in the gym, I go, geez, that's a decent body. I won't mind looking like him. It was a woman, a 100-pound woman. So again, this is a tough one. I always say Dwayne Johnson doesn't have a Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And I say it with such conviction that The Rock is a genetic female, because I believe everyone at that level is portraying themselves as the opposite sex. Every one of them. No, like, oh, maybe this one is, maybe this one isn't. So when you look at The Rock or Brock Lesnar, right, and you see these people and you see the size of them and you see just, you hear the voice, well, Brock Lesnar speaks like this. I'm going to kick your ass. He actually speaks like a woman, Brock Lesnar. But The Rock speaks like, hey, what you doing, jabroni? So deep voice, massive, ripped. Again, the guy's in his 50s. Have you seen him? There's no way that's possible without drugs or demons to look like The Rock. Like, again, he's traveling. He was wrestling, wasn't he? 300 days a year or more. So taking bumps. Yeah. And he still looks unbelievable. He's probably traveling around the world daily with Hollywood and all of that. And he's still like got time to work out. I'm the hardest worker in the room. The Brahma Bull, which is the beast. Yes. So if somebody was going to say, Red Pill Monkey, listen, all right, this is pretty interesting. All right, I can see with some of them, but how dare you tell me that The Rock is a genetic female? Look at him, huge. What's your answer?
Well, like I said, just go back to normal people, open trans that, you know, have gone from female to male. Testosterone is powerful, very powerful. HGH, extremely powerful, without the side effects of steroids. So yeah, there's many ways. They
have to make a huge point of The Rock when he was 15 was like 6'2", 300 pounds. His images all, and he had a mustache.
Yeah, look how soft his features were.
His features were crazy. Yeah, crazy. It still are.
And if you flip it the other way, if you look at the female to males, sorry, the male to females in Hollywood, if you look how they were when they were young, if you look at Courtney Cox when she was in Friends to how she is now, it looks like she may as well be Caitlyn Jenner. It may as well be Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah,
it's almost identical.
Courtney Cox.
So like,
interesting name.
Your body will, your body will always try to go back to its natural form, and which is why it's harder for them to hide it when they age.
Yep, Jennifer Aniston, J-Lo are looking more and more masculine every passing day. What's comical with Bruce Jenner is the whole Jenner and Kardashian family are trans. What I believe happened with Bruce Jenner, it's a genetic female who presented himself as a male who went back to their original female.
Yeah.
That's what they've done there.
Yeah, there's plenty of examples of that with other celebrities. It's just mockery.
It really is, isn't it? They did it with what was her name from Juno? The movie Juno.
That's the one I was thinking of as well. I can't think what her name is or his name.
Yeah, that was another man pretending to be a woman for a short amount of time, going back to being a man. Anyone in the chat, tell me who starred in Juno. I did a video about it.
I think we're very similar to a lot of the people online that do the trans investigation stuff. Is that
Ellen Page?
I don't believe. I'm not. Well, I don't know. But I wouldn't put it out there that every single person on television is trans, because I don't believe that for a second.
No, because I dated a girl when I was like 14 who was on Emmerdale.
Yeah, all the top ones. Yeah, the top stars, absolutely.
A-listers, A-listers, mate. Have you ever connected that A-listers is Alisters Crowley? A-listers, Crowley.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not everyone on your TV at all. Like that, Satan doesn't make it that obvious. Like, again, when it comes to the pro sports, not every single professional athlete's aware of a code or the demons involved. Surely LeBron and Brady and Kobe and Beckham and Rooney and Ronaldo and Messi have to be somewhat aware of what on earth is going on within this realm. They can't just be playing along with it. They have to be seeing, like, they must ask themselves questions. You know, like, why me? What is going on here? How am I able to do this still at this age? They must sit down and think that if they're not demonically possessed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I say, it goes back to spiritual. We have to look at it through a spiritual lens, or it just appears crazy and impossible. But nothing's impossible in this world, because we don't battle against flesh and blood.
I think demons can, to a certain level, do whatever they want within this realm. So if they want to score a 70-yard bicycle kick, they can. They can do anything when it comes to things like that. Physically, I don't feel like they feel pain. Like when Conor McGregor snapped his ankle and he was still on the mic laughing. You'll say it's adrenaline. No, a demon doesn't feel pain. A demon can, you know, your magicians, David Blaine and David Copperfield, and they pull out this incredible magic, and Dynamo, who basically said he went in the woods and basically did a ritual. So when they're performing magic, again, when you read any book about magic, it always has demons on the front cover. I did a video about it. These magicians are demons that have entered a human vessel. So you got, how did Dynamo do that? Wow. He didn't.
Oh, yeah.
The demon did it.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's realms we can't see.
Yes.
The spiritual realm we can't see, but they know things about us. So it's the same if you go to a spiritualist, a psychic medium. They're able to tell you things that nobody else can know, because demons know things about us. They can't read our minds, but they know our habits, and they know what we like and dislike, and can tell you things that nobody else could do.
I believe a demon has a gift of attacking you at your lowest point. I think a demon knows your biggest weaknesses and your biggest things that you give in regards to temptation, and they'll guide you in that direction as much as they can. And sometimes, as you've said, and I've done, and I still will, you're going to give in occasionally to it. You're going to give in occasionally to it. They are going to get to you every now and again. But when you have that regret and you're aware of, okay, I've given into temptation there. All right, it's not like you've got to take responsibility. You've got to accept you gave in to temptation. You wasn't like brainwashed into it. You gave in through your free will. And we are going to do that every now and again. But the reality is being aware of it and enjoying it at the same time. So I think these Satanists who are possessed by demons, who have no remorse, that's why these serial killers, they get taken over by a demon. They have no remorse for murder. Or maybe they get a thrill out of it. When you and I, or practically anyone else in the chat, does something that we know is not right, because you know, don't you? You know when you've done something where you told a lie, or you've drank too much, or whatever it is. You know, like, oh, I don't feel right about that. You have remorse for your actions. There is guilt. It doesn't mean you're not going to not do it again, but there's definitely remorse and guilt for what you did. These people don't have it. And there's no way, bro, if they're deceiving the world daily, it don't matter how much money you get, how big your house is, you are going to break down and your soul's going to get destroyed. Unless you're a demon, literally a demon in a human vessel, you would break, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be able to live. Your life would be a whole lie. You wouldn't sleep. You wouldn't be able to sleep, bro. I don't think any human is that, like, so-called evil without being possessed. To be able to do what they're doing to their children, what they do, who they're marrying, like, they're just gone, aren't they?
It's why God can forgive, because, you know, he can forgive the worst kinds. So murderers, pedophiles, sex offenders, rapists, you know, he can forgive those, because there's a demon behind that man. So as long as you come to repentance, then we can all be forgiven.
I 100% agree with that, and it's very hard for people to comprehend that, isn't it? Especially if something's happened to them or to a loved one. There's no way they'll be able to forgive somebody who's murdered their child. But I think they believe those people have to go to hell. And that's the black and white version of it. But again, I do believe, like you said, when you perform in those heinous acts, a demon has got into you. It's got into you.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe in demons, you're just going to say this guy's sick in the head. This guy's just a sicko. He deserves to burn in hell. And that's what Satan wants. He wants you to hate the world and hate people of the world. There's more divide than ever probably now. It's hard to say because we didn't live like centuries ago, but there's just so much divide, especially since the internet. And you know what I mean? Like what you and I talk about, the majority hate it, don't they? That's why when I say that, when people sometimes say to me, Illusion, you talk about these controversial topics because you want to be famous and you want to get a big following and you want to like make a lot of money. They don't understand that I'm talking about topics that 90% of the world hate me talking about. You and I, Monkey, with our supreme knowledge of football, right? Even now, even though we don't watch it, and our personalities, because we're funny. Like, guys, Red Bull Monk is one of the funniest guys I've ever met. You're not hearing it here because we're being serious. The guy's hilarious. He's unbelievably funny. Unbelievably funny. Like, so you and I, if we wanted, bro, if we were playing Fantasy Premier League, right? You and I could do a talk show on Fantasy Premier League and guide people. I used to do amazing every time I played that. Tell them who to pick, give them all the stats with my knowledge of the numbers and all of that, and build up the Premier League. And all right, guys, all right, this is the week you got to use your wild card. What I'd do here, you see, Haaland's injured, so we've got to take him out. I'll replace him with. I probably would get tens of thousands of views being that person with the way I can talk. All right. So when people say you and I are doing what we're doing for attention, why would we do it when it's topics that the majority of the world are not open to listening to if we want everybody to love what we're saying? It don't make sense, does it?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy talking about the things I talk about. I don't enjoy those topics. I'd rather talk about many other things, but it's just something in my soul that tells me that I need to just put stuff out there now and then. I'm not on it daily anymore because it does affect your mental health if you just keep talking about all this dark stuff. So I think you need to have breaks.
Kenya's been amazing for me. So I haven't really told you about Kenya that much. So I have a girlfriend now. And when I'm with Kenya, it's one of the few times, other than when I'm coaching and teaching English, where I'm Adam. So the illusion character goes out the window unless the friends ask about it because they're starting to know I have a channel now, which is kind of annoying. Which again shows it. I'm not going out like I'm the illusion, guys. Subscribe. So when I'm around Kenya, 99% of the time, it's just me being Adam and talking about whatever it is that we want to talk about. For about a year and a half, when I gave up everything, my job, my wife, my way of thinking, many friends, I was alone, chose to be alone, and consumed, obsessed with this knowledge, with the dark side of life, all of that, and looking into it all. And for a while, and we both said it because we've had practically the same awakening, it crushed me for about 2 months. I hated the world. I hated the world. I never, ever, ever, ever got to the point where I felt like, oh, I don't want to be in the world, ever. Never got close to that. But I hated the world. I hated the system. I thought we were doomed. And I had no one to talk to. And thankfully, I think to get to where you and I are with enlightenment and discernment, I think you have to have that moment in your life for a month or 2 months. I think for me, it was about a month and a half where I was just like, oh, this world is just so evil. Like, what can we even do about it? I felt powerless for a month and a half. Like, do you think to get to where we're at, do you think you have to experience that? Do you think it's almost rehab? Or do you think there's a way that you can find the light without seeing the darkness? Because I found the darkness before the light.
Yeah, I was the same. I found the darkness before the light. And I went to a pretty dark place for a while. And then the more experienced and more that you understand it, the more you can deal with it. And you find ways to escape it. You can't just constantly be online. You know, that's a trap in itself to just be online.
Satan wants that, doesn't he? Yeah, he wants you just staring at a screen. So I learned that. I learned that.
I don't spend much time on Twitter anymore. I kind of dip in and out of it. But I never did it for any glory or anything like that. I've never been interested in that at all. It's just something in my soul told me that I have to get this stuff off my chest. And I've met many nice people through it, and decent people that help me in understanding I'm not alone in this way of thinking.
That's the biggest thing about my website, where I have the most joy, is that I would say 80% of the people on my website are people like you and I who do see the world a specific way that's in the minority, and that you can voice your beliefs without being ridiculed. Like, if the average normie went on my website and read a week's worth of content, it wouldn't blow their mind. It would make them go, I think that guy needs to see a psychologist. That's what they would say. I think it's insane. Let me read this out. I have to read this out, mate. YouTube, all of you, pay attention to this. And I want your opinion. Because I think I got an email from YouTube, and I think this was a sign to say, we're watching you, Illusion. Tell me what you think, Red Pill Monkey. It's going to take me a few minutes to read it. Guys in the chat, tell me what you think about this email YouTube sent me. Right? Somebody said, be careful. I don't worry about things like that. So let me know, Red Pill Monkey. YouTube, hi there. We're reaching out because members of the YouTube community, including fellow creators, viewers, or staff, have expressed concern for your safety or well-being after coming across content you posted with topics related to suicide or self-harm. Video, Kurt Cobain death decode, all right, who supposedly committed suicide. If you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal thinking or self-harming, know there is help and you're not alone. It's not uncommon to turn to suicidal thinking and self-harm as ways to cope with painful emotions. Talking to someone can help you process these emotions as well as get support through a difficult time. We encourage you to use the resources listed in our help center. If you need support, these include organizations specific to your location. You can visit findahelpline.com to look for local mental health care providers. We care about you. You are not alone and help is available. Please take care, the YouTube team. So listen, I'm calling out this stuff. So they're implying I have a mental illness and I'm depressed. Number one, YouTube don't care about me. Let's get that straight. And number two, why in recent years, I've been trying to get to the bottom of this, why in recent years have Hollywood stars and athletes really pushed mental health? Is it the more you think about it, the more it leads to issues? Why are they really hammering mental health and athletes? I can't perform in this tournament. I'm suffering with mental health problems. Like, why are they doing that? Especially with men, like they're telling you it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel down. Why are they pushing this? And an email like that, I really believe that email, mate, was to say we're watching you. That's what I think it was.
It sounds like it's AI, it's algorithm. They're picking up on the subject.
But why did it take so long? The Kurt Cobain video was over a year ago.
Yeah, it's a bit random.
It's super random. So why do you think, I always say a therapist, when you break down that word, it's the rapist, because I think they rape your mind. Yeah, so why do you think that they're heavily, in recent years, because they weren't doing this in the 80s or 90s or the early 2000s, like maybe, remember when they started pushing Britney Spears and shaved her head just to let you know it's a man? Maybe Britney wanted to go back to her original role of a man while she shaved her head. But it wasn't until maybe Britney Spears doing that with the whole mental health issue. Now it's everywhere. Every day there's a celebrity suffering from mental health. Why are they doing it? Anyone in the chat, I'd love your opinion. So what do you reckon, Red Pill Monkey? Tough question. I think just the more you talk about it, the more it leads to you suffering from mental health problems. It's like the more you talk about racism, the more prevalent it becomes, I feel. It's some sort of magic. Yeah. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to limit the amount of time you spend talking about anything. I think anything, too much of anything is not good for you, is it? So
no.
If you're every day, remember, we're not doing this for rewards. But you don't go to heaven through good works. It's very clear, the Bible, on that. But God doesn't care about the illusion. He doesn't care about Red Pill Monkey. He cares about Adam. He cares about Jason. So
I don't even think he cares about Adam and Jason with names we were given. I think he cares about our spirit. Not Adam.
He cares about our spirit, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to use you or me or anyone else that's trying to spread the message, because we've all needed a seed somewhere. So we've all needed some sort of person or information that they've been given to grow on our own journey. So we all find it somewhere, don't we? So God uses different people for waking up others. So yeah, we're not doing it for any reward. It's just something that we feel we have to share, because once you realize you've been lied to on this level, it's difficult to keep it to yourself. You don't want to talk about
you can't keep it to yourself, can you? You can't.
Yeah, exactly. You can't change. You change as a person. You change your circle of friends. You just change completely. You're a different person entirely.
You evolve, though, don't you? It's a higher purpose, I think. I don't think it's a negative. You evolve.
Yeah, you do. You grow, and you grow in the spirit.
Think about it. When you get taller, you go through growing pains. You go through spiritual pains that make you stronger.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm going to have to go now, mate. But what I would say is, anybody that's in the chat that doubts this, and there'll probably be many people that think that this is a crazy theory, that the trans agenda, the trans movement is real, then to just go back and look at ancient history.
And very quickly, just very quickly, I talk about it a lot. And I think you have a ton of knowledge, as do I, on it. Just break down Baphomet very quickly, Baphomet, with both female and male genitalia, who they worship, the Church of Satan, worship.
It's just another a version of Satan, basically. As above, so below. So female breasts and male genitalia.
And a goat's head.
The goat's head. So it's just another version of that, and this is why these celebrities do it. It's their sacrifice to their god.
And then when you see the symbolism with Baphomet, with the finger pointing up and down, you see all the celebrations where they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's demons working within these celebrities, and that's why they take so much. That's the only reason why you can sort of understand why they take pleasure in doing these signs, symbols, and they seem to enjoy their life of deception, deceiving the world.
Yeah.
Because they're being deceived, and they think that they've been taught that they're kind of a different race, I guess, in the fact that they're androgynous and they're at a higher position than us. So they see themselves as a pedestal.
Do you believe in any way? Do you believe in any way they genuinely believe by connecting the male and female body as one? Is this whole duality that they want to push? Or do you think that is just pure Satanism infiltrating the human body, God's greatest creation? They always talk about bringing the male and female body together to be one. They want this whole one, like one love, one world government. That's Satan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all linked together. They definitely feel that they're a league of their own, and we're the dumbed down peasants, basically.
That's true.
They look at us as cockroaches. They don't see that we're worthy of enlightenment and knowledge, and which is why they hide it. But they don't hide it completely. They show us every day. But you have to break free from the spell that we're under, the programming.
Yeah, they do. They do reveal it. They slightly open the curtain and close it. It's like, what was that? And most people don't want to get behind the curtain. They're like, oh, it don't matter, whatever.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you need to want to know the truth. If you don't,
it's like, bro, it's like losing weight or whatever. You've got to want it. You've got to want to work out and lose weight, you've got to want that within. You have to, or you're not going to do it. You have to want it. And again, yeah.
And I don't try and convince anyone of anything. It's not my job, and it's not.
No, I've got to that point. I reveal my truth. I always say I don't say the truth. I reveal my truth. People seem to be inspired by it. Other people detest it. If you detest it, you don't listen, or maybe stay, and maybe you'll eventually change your mind. So yeah, that's all we do. Like, plant seeds, and somebody like me who goes live every day and says what I say, I am risking a lot. But when you're wearing God's armor, you don't fear anything. So what have I got to fear?
You shouldn't close your mind to any, new information. We should all be open to changing our mind on something if the evidence is there. Because everything that we're saying is based on an educated guess. We can understand anatomy, and we can link it to ancient history and Satanism and whatnot. But yeah, we don't know 100% anything. We can't prove it 100%.
It's so crucial to accept that, isn't it?
But we can show evidence, lots of evidence, but we can't prove anything, can we? So
I reveal patterns, and then I say it's up to you. It's up to you how you believe, who's behind these patterns. But I reveal patterns that you can't deny when it comes to numbers. The numbers that I provide, you can't actually deny the numbers, but you can deny it's God or Satan or AI, or you can deny all of that, but you can't deny the numbers that I've revealed.
Exactly.
All right, mate, you're a legend. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate it a lot.
Much love, mate. God bless. Take care.
Yeah, you too, bro. Thank you.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Yeah, I've got to go soon. I've got to go coach, but cheers.
See you soon, bro.
See you, mate. Bye. So he's had one of the biggest impacts on me in my journey. Is Red Pill Monkey. There was one point where we spoke practically every day for about half a year, either speaking or messaging each other, and just helped each other. So we have a very similar story, and we're meant to be in contact. Again, I live in Mexico. He's living in Wales. My dad's Welsh. Old Ivor. Crazy stuff. So again, when you get to a certain level with this, you realize you don't know everything. You realize you don't have to compete with everybody to prove that you know more than them. You have your own truth. The word truth has you in the center of it. You got to find the truth within you. And he makes a lot of amazing points, and he's very articulate in the way he does it. And he is not aggressive. I often use numbers to back up what I'm saying. I've got better at using anatomy and biblical scripture. But that's just through a lot of hard work and the Holy Spirit guiding me. So when it comes to Hollywood, guys, a lot of people, like when I said Pink is inverted, they instantly just say, what about her child? Now you know what they can do. Okay, you know the ways that they can get hold of children. Hopefully you'll be a bit more open-minded to what I say now when I call out these deceivers. They work for Satan, guys. Study Baphomet that has both male and female genitalia. Study the Church of Satan. It's a real thing. The Church of Satan exists in San Francisco. It was founded, guys, April the 30th, 1966 by Anton LaVey, an open Satanist who tortured his daughter and was proud of it. So this is all legit stuff that you don't want to believe because it hurts. You just don't want to believe it. And it's understandable. Like we both said, it's really understandable why you don't want to believe that the world is satanic and that the leaders don't care about you. It can hurt. It can hurt. But when you find that Holy Spirit and you find God, everything else that's going on within the world, it's still relevant because you're living within the world. It's relevant, but you shouldn't let it ruin you. Just build your spirit, guys. Learn this knowledge. All right? You don't have to go to my website. I'm not even going to say come to my website. You don't need to go to my website to read a Bible, to study numbers, all right, to study anatomy. You can all do that yourself without me. What you get on my website is a community of people. Again, I don't know where the Anton LaVey video is. It's on my website. Actually, I could find the link. Let me find the link for you, but it's on the website. I'll find it to show you. I'm not doing this just for money. Let me find the link. It's unbelievably powerful. It almost got me crying. All right. Where is it? I've posted so much. Where is it? This is crazy how much I post. It's because I posted a lot today. Found it. I found it. I hope. All right. Here it is for you all. I would recommend all of you to watch this. This is what I posted on my website. All of you to watch that and see how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel like, wow, then that spirit's lit within you. If you watch it and go, this is nonsense, this is made up, then Satan's got you right now. That can change. But if you watch that video and it has no impact on you, then something's not quite right, I would say, spiritually within you. It's an unbelievably powerful video. And then if you study Anton LaVey, and who he was, you will just see that there are genuinely evil people living within this world. And they have a lot of influence on the world, which is very important to know. Very important. Right. And I'm going to tell you this. Let me just check my email. Yeah, I'll tell you this now because I've got 7 right now. So yesterday on my website, the link, I've just posted a link. For a while, a lot of people have been asking me to get together a group of open-minded people once a week and lead a group discussion. I put it out last night to my website. I said I only want 11. 7 people from my website have already signed up for it. It's going to be this Sunday. All right. If you are interested in being a part of it, because once it gets to 11, I'm cutting it off. You've got to email me. You have to email me and say, hey, I'm interested in taking part in this. It's 90 minutes. It's literally next to nothing. It's $10 for 90 minutes. We all talk. We discuss each other's stories. I lead it. We code, whatever it is that we're going to discuss. So 7 people have signed up within 8 hours or whatever. It's 4 places left. If you're interested, email me. If you're not, I'll just go ahead with the 7. But I know that there's going to be 11. So just to let you know that, I'll put it on Twitter. Get a reverse recorder app on your phone and say no one will stop us. You'll be surprised at what it says when played back in reverse. I don't really want to get stoppers will no one. Wow, yeah, they do a lot of backmasking and do a lot of things in reverse. It's what Satanists do. You've got to be very, very careful, like I said, with the music you listen to and the words that you use. They do so many things in reverse. Right, I have to go get ready. Well, I am ready for coaching. I have to plan a session. Tonight I'm out with Kenya. I won't be going live for anything. I hope this was deeply impactful and it's inspired you, like I said, to study anatomy, study numbers, study the universe, study scripture, study Satanism, study whatever it is, the history of professional sports. Just study. Don't spend your free 2 hours tonight watching Netflix unless you're going to literally study a movie or a show or a documentary. So people act in their life. I don't have much free time. You do. You're just choosing your free time to watch TV more often than not. In that 2.5 hours you have free, you can literally be doing things, learn an instrument, learn to cook, research, so many things you can be doing. You choose to watch that movie or watch 4 episodes of The Office. You choose that. You do have free time. You're just choosing to use your free time to do things that are not beneficial for you, other than, yeah, they may entertain you. But you need more than to be entertained in this world if you want to grow. You're being entertained by other people. Entertain yourself. Right. Whew. A lot of content putting out, a lot of just non-stop, guys. But hope you enjoyed this, all right? Thank you. I'll try and do a video later. I don't know if I'll have time. If not, it might be tomorrow, about the whole nonsense between PSG beating Ronaldo's Riyadh 11 5-4. Remember, the Queen died the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime, and the Super Bowl's 5 months and 4 days after she died. These numbers are just insane, guys. All right? They're insane. So, talk about blood over intent. I don't know enough about that. We are the way to eternal life. I agree. We are all eternal. Some of us are going to spend eternity in heaven, others in hell. So we are eternal. All of us. You remember that girl band called Eternal? We are all eternal. Eternal flames. Okay? Like a candle you can't put out. Adam, can I pay via Super Chat for your book, please? I do not have PayPal. Yes, you can do that right now. But you're going to have to email me that you did that so I can send you the book before I go and coach. So if you send it now, before this live stream ends, I'll send you the book. So yeah, I know not everybody has PayPal. So let me see that and then email me to say, hey, I'm the guy who super chatted you. Thanks so much. Or you don't even have to thank me. And then I'll send you the book. The book is, out of all the knowledge that I've shared, I think the book is the best thing I've done. And my Queen book that I'm going to re-release, I'm not going to force it. I'm not even going to give you a date. I've added so much. Like I had a big 119 section. And what did we have today? Ronaldo against Messi played on January the 19th, 119 in a beast ritual. So I'll get that out as well. But yeah, I know not everyone has PayPal and I understand that. Did Greta Thunberg get arrested or something? That man. Greta, an anagram of great, like Great Reset. How dare you? I should be in school. Yet I'm flying across the world on a private jet to give a speech. Yes, Greta, why? Why are you pushing climate change and on a private jet? Why didn't you just give your speech from your school, you bloke? I'm just done with people like Greta Thunberg. Unfortunately, Greta, who's a bloke, has got a demon inside of him. And it's tragic, isn't it? It's tragic, to be honest. A little kid like that. I don't know. I think Greta's what? How old's Greta now? I don't know. She could be 19. But Greta's a bloke. It's blatant. You don't just have some random kid from a Swedish school become an icon. I've told you, icon. They're con artists. Iconic. No doubt in my mind, Greta Thunberg is related to George Soros. If you don't know who George Soros is, look it up. If you're going to tell me Greta Thunberg's not related to George Soros, who funded Black Lives Matter, check it out. George Soros. Looks like Slimer from the Ghostbusters. Greta's related, no doubt. No, but George Soros, he's Greek and she's Swedish. Again, they lie about nationalities. How many movies have you watched? How many accents has DiCaprio put on in movies? How many impressions can I do? You're not hanging out with Greta Thunberg, are you? Not hanging out with these people. You see them occasionally on TV where they're playing a role on the world stage. So that's just the situation. Right. I'm just waiting on this super chat, not because I'm money hungry, but otherwise I'm not going to be able to send the book. So in this Man City Spurs game, you know, they're probably going to make it a sweat because Arsenal's biggest rivals are Spurs. Arsenal are going for the league. Today, Arsenal fans are supporting Spurs. They're going to give their energy to Spurs. It's just, you see through it all, don't you? The creator wants us to see proof of life. Yep. Greta is a bloke. Funniest thing I've heard lately. No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, they're just satanic puppets. They're just, and again, we've got to have sympathy for them, especially the younger ones, guys. Like recently, Aaron Carter died. Poor guy had a demon from, seems pretty much birth. With the ritual with the Carter family, his older brother was a star in the Backstreet Boys, probably a sister. Again, when they're doing this Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, they're mocking you. Aaron Carter died a while ago. I did a video about it. He was like a popular pop star for a while. And he was the younger brother of Nick Carter, who was in the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, Aaron Carter, 2 male names. So you've got to have somewhat sympathy. I told you I have sympathy for Britney, Christina, Justin Timberlake, all of these celebrities who came through the Mickey Mouse Club, where they got put under a spell and abused, probably tortured, and demons entered them. And you've got to have somewhat sympathy for them, if that's the word. You go, how can we? They've deceived us their whole lives, but they're born into it. Look at Michael Jackson. The kid was born into it. Born into it. A whole life of deception, the demon. And again, who knows what happened to the actual legit Michael Jackson? He can't suddenly go from black guy with an afro to what he looked like. Something not right about that. It's something not right about the fact we accepted it. That Michael Jackson went from this African-American, afro, cute kid, chubby cheeks, to looking like a skeleton on Smack. Like, and his voice completely changing. It's got to be demonic what happened with Michael Jackson. And there's no way they just randomly pick the Jackson family to have the Jackson 5 and then make Janet Jackson an icon and Michael Jackson an icon. Something deep to it, something demonic. Obviously, Joe Jackson, the father, was some sort of demon or intense Satanist for the Jackson 5 to get to where they were. And for Michael Jackson to live the life that he lived. Watch my video on Michael Jackson. There is a good chance that Michael Jackson didn't die. But again, they're difficult topics because you just can't prove it. You know what I mean? There's definitely a lot to indicate Michael Jackson didn't die, didn't overdose. Then this doctor basically got done for it, for prescribing him drugs that he shouldn't have prescribed him. How many of them are dying in the baths as well? Like, found dead in his bath. Loads of them. Some sort of satanic ritual with it all. Right, I'm not sure this person wants the book because I have to go. It's fine. Maybe another time. Yeah, Whitney Houston. A lot of them get found dead in a bathtub. Nick Carter was in a bathtub as well. And they just say there is a good chance they're on A-list, Class A drugs. Because if you know that you're possessed by a demon and you want to escape the demon, a lot of people drink alcohol in excess and take drugs to escape their reality. So I do believe a lot of these A-list celebrities who do die young they are taking Class A drugs to try and escape the demon. But you can never escape the demon, I don't think, unless through repenting and truly finding Jesus. The demons fear what is holy. The holy water, you sprinkle it on a demon. All right? They fear all of that. They fear the truth. They fear the light like vampires. They fear holy water. They fear Jesus Christ. So they'll just enter a vessel of a person who's desperate more often than not, or somebody who's broken. Because a lot of these celebrities, they're completely broken. You see them with fame and fortune in the houses. They don't even own the stuff they own. They're owned by entities. These people are broken. Britney Spears is broken. Since she was a child, he was a child going through all sorts of surgery. All right, but you see the music videos, hit me, baby, one more time. You're like, wow, she's beautiful. Look how happy she looks. Oh my God, look at the size of her house, this, that, and the others. And then you start to realize that they're not happy. None of them are. None of them are truly happy. Yeah, you can address me by Adam if you want. That's my name. My name's not the illusion, is it? My name's Adam. So, yeah, I have to go. I can't be late for my coaching session. Again, thank you, Red Pill Monkey. I really appreciate what you just did. Appreciate you all right? Immortals, yeah, I do believe there's people who are immortal. Are we not all immortal if we're all spirits that never die? Are we not all immortal? People want to be, the Satanists of this world want to be immortal within this realm. That's why they're pushing this technology and chips in your brain and the meta universe. They want to stay here because they don't want to go to hell. So they want to live here and they want to be eternal and immortal within this realm. But this realm we're living in, Earth, is not designed for us to be immortal. These vessels are not designed to be immortal. So that's all they're pushing, these people with God complexes, trying to basically stay here because they don't want to go to hell. Because they know deep down that's where they're going. Your Bill Gates and people like that. They know where they're going. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Take care. Much love. I'll keep doing this whilst I have a voice and a platform. And don't worry about me. Whatever happens to me, happens to me. You know what I mean? I'm not concerned about the threats that I get and YouTube emailing me. I'm not worried about any of that. I'll keep doing what I'm doing whilst I have a voice. And I should have a voice for a very, very, very long time, baby. Hope to see you all in heaven. Okay? Take care. Much love. Thank you for everything. And I'll speak to you all soon. All right? Bye-bye.